Hello and welcome to the Acting Coach Network podcast. I'm your host, Savannah Madden, acting coach, theatre school owner and business mentor for coaches who are ready to have more time, make more money and fall back in love with the work they do. This podcast is your go-to space for real talk, practical strategies and inspiring stories to help you grow a thriving, fulfilling coaching business without burning out. Last week, we looked into pricing structures for one-to-one coaching, which is something I know inside and out because that's how I built my business. But today, we're shifting gears and focusing on group coaching. If you're looking to increase your impact, maximize your time and boost your profits, then group coaching is an incredible option. So let's get into it. Why group coaching? Firstly, one-to-one coaching is fantastic for building strong rapport with clients and offering personalised attention. But as we all know, it's trading time for money, which can limit how much we earn. Group coaching, on the other hand, allows you to work with multiple students at once, expanding your reach and increasing your revenue potential. It can also be done in person or online, making it a flexible option for many coaches. But what are the factors that we need to consider when pricing our group classes? Pricing your group sessions isn't a one-size-fits-all situation. There are a few key factors to consider. Target audience, for example. Who are you coaching? Children or adults? Prices might vary depending on your audience and their expectations. Your location. Are your sessions online or in person? Online classes eliminate venue hire costs, but you still have expenses like Wi-Fi, subscriptions for your online platform like Zoom, and utilities to factor in. So for me, your prices shouldn't necessarily be cheaper just because you're online. In-person sessions often require renting a space, which adds to your costs even further. But even if you're teaching in your own teaching space, you still need to account for overheads like heating, electricity and water. And class size and staffing. So how many students will you be coaching at once? If you're running a larger group, you may need an assistant, which means additional wages, insurance and safeguarding considerations. Standard in-person ratios tend to be 15 to 20 students per teacher, and if you have an assistant, this can increase to 30 or a little more. But you'll need to budget to pay your wages and theirs. Session duration. Well, you might have your classes for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, or even a 3-hour workshop style session. So longer sessions will naturally have higher pricing structures. So how do we calculate our price? So once you've considered the factors that we've just discussed, it's time to work out the numbers. So here's a step-by-step approach. Determine your base costs first. So venue hire, if applicable, staff wages, insurance, online platform fees, again, if applicable, marketing costs, additional licenses such as music licenses because you might be a dance performing arts business. And set your profit margin. Work out what you need to be making per hour or per day, depending on how many hours of coaching you're offering. Then factor in your own overheads and class size. If you're teaching the session yourself, make sure your hourly rate is covered. And if you're hiring another coach, ensure you're making a commission on the class. So competitive analysis, I would research the pricing in your local area, and if similar classes are charging £80 per term, for example, and you price yours at £150 per term without adding significant extra value, or you don't have considerable extra expertise, then you might struggle to attract clients. However, don't undersell yourself. People are willing to pay for quality coaching, so price according to your expertise and value. Billing structure. Here we go. This is going to be a bit more of a long one. For most types of group classes, I recommend a monthly subscription style payment system, so you have a constant stream of income to help with your cash flow. This may vary, however, if you're just starting one very small class, for example. However, if you've been in the game a long time and you are going to make the switch from termly or half-termly invoices to a subscription model, I would do it across the board for all classes. It might work out better for those sort of smaller classes to just invoice termly for these to get started. But as I said, it depends on your offering. This may also work better for classes where you have to re-enroll each term, but I don't really recommend that. I would really try to avoid it because it's just more work for you. Students should enroll into your class and they should stay with you until they give you notice to leave. A monthly subscription model also helps families to budget over the year. Please just make sure you have solid terms and conditions for when students do want to stop your classes. I would ensure this clause is also in the initial email where they sign up and is written on their yearly invoice, which shows their monthly payments broken down. This model also helps with avoiding late payments and not having to constantly chase people. In my experience, even adding a 10% admin fee for late payments doesn't really deter people, and it doesn't ensure they pay on time, even if you have an automated invoicing service. Everyone pays for other things on subscription, think Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. So it really is the norm these days. My main tip for using monthly subscription is just to be really clear on your communication with your clients so they fully understand how the price is broken down. If you spread it over 12 months and don't have classes over the summer, some customers might ask why. And if you spread it over 11 months instead of 12, I'm sure people will still ask why. So to recap, make your terms and conditions clear, communicate the model often and clearly, explain how it works in your emails, on socials, and when you enroll new customers. Have a confident response when questions are asked. And finally, just expect to repeat the message often. And now let's think about compliance and administration. So if you're hiring assistants or other coaches, ensure you're compliant with employment laws. You need to ensure that all wages are paid to people working for you and that they are in line with minimum and living wage laws. You also will most likely be paying your staff on a freelance self-employed basis. So you need to make sure that everyone is aware that they are responsible for their own tax. And then if you're going down the other route of paying your staff on a PAYE system, you also need to make sure you have everything in place to ensure you're following all the correct laws. However, we also need to think of this. All staff must be DBS checked and recruited following safeguarding guidelines. I'd also recommend obtaining references from previous employers. Public liability insurance is a must. I highly recommend Morton Michelle as a provider. Finally, let's have our final thoughts and next steps. So let's have a recap. Identify your audience, children or adults. Consider your location and overheads. Determine class size and staffing requirements, and set your pricing based on costs and profit margins. Ensure you're meeting all legal and insurance obligations. Once you've calculated your pricing, test it out. If you're unsure about your rates, do a soft launch or trial run to gauge interest. This doesn't just apply if you are starting out a brand new class. This could be something that you're adding to your current offerings. So all of these tips in this episode apply if you're starting out new classes or, as I said earlier, if you've been in the game a long time and you're looking to change your pricing structure from half-termly or termly invoices to a subscription model, which is monthly payments. And likewise, if you're looking to increase your prices to make sure that you are getting the most possible revenue for your classes. If you have any specific pricing questions, feel free to reach out. You can drop me an email at savannah@savannahmadden.com, send me a DM on Instagram or comment on this episode. Thanks so much for listening to the Acting Coach Network podcast. If you loved this episode, be sure to hit subscribe and leave a review. It really helps get the word out to more amazing performing arts business owners like you. Come and follow me on Instagram at the Acting Coach Network. And if you'd like to watch the video of this episode, then head over to our YouTube channel. Just search the Acting Coach Network. Next week, we're talking about taking time off over the summer, a crucial topic for theatre school owners. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep doing the work that lights you up.